Welcome to the Fox 54 Weekend Review. I'm Kenesha Dees. It's the only place in North Alabama to get the week's local headlines condensed into one program. This week's big story: communities are pushing back against data centers across the Tennessee Valley. We heard from residents in Morgan County and Fort Payne, Alabama, and Lawrence County, Tennessee, about the possibility of these giant facilities in their communities. Morgan County residents continue their push to stop a proposed Bitcoin mining facility from moving into their community. Today, neighbors took their fight offline and into the heat, gathering signatures as they try to build support for their cause. Petition organizers set up along Union Road near the proposed site of the data center, hoping to grow their support and show officials just how many people are concerned about the project. Fox 54's Valentina Chalala spoke with petition organizers about their efforts.
Say no to Bitcoin. That's the message residents of Morgan County are trying to send. A proposed Bitcoin mining center on Union Road has many in the community worried their daily lives will change for good.
My main concern is the impacts on the environment. This creates a lot of noise pollution.
We're just trying to make sure that we can, take care of our land.
For hours, organizers stood out in the sun, asking neighbors to stop by, hear their concerns, and add their name to the petition. Carly Carlton, one of the people leading this effort, says they believe the impact could stretch beyond the people living here today.
It's something that will affect not only my children, the children that we have in the future, it affects everybody else's life too. And it's important that somebody is willing to stand up and say no. And when the more people stand up, the more people will stand up with them.
According to petition supporter Hannah Landers, VoltCore is the company behind the proposed project, though she says information about the plans in Morgan County have been scarce.
What we know right now about VoltCore is very limited. This is one of the companies that has been targeting rural communities in Texas, and now they're trying to come to the state of Alabama.
Carlton adds they want stronger protections in place before more large-scale projects potentially move into rural communities.
We don't have the money to fight them. So we need some new legislation on this that actually puts stricter requirements on it so that they don't come in and put one on Union Road, on Antioch, on Herman Bailey within a mile of each other.
Once they get one area, they're going to go for another area. And so if you think it's not coming your way, then I think you're wrong.
Petition supporters say they're now looking into crowdfunding options as they try to pay for an environmental study they hope could help slow the project down. In Morgan County, I'm Valentina Chalala, Fox 54 News.
Organizers say their goal is simple. They want their concerns heard. Just today, they met with Senator Arthur Orr as they continue pushing for support and look for possible legislative solutions. Morgan County residents gathered for the county commission meeting early this morning, demanding answers and action over a proposed Bitcoin mining facility along Union Road. The commission opened public comment for the first time on the matter, giving neighbors a chance to voice fears over noise, light pollution, and lack of local regulation. Fox 54's Logan Alexandra Russell attended that meeting and talked with residents about their primary concerns.
The Morgan County Commission opened up the floor during their meeting this morning for public commentary regarding a Bitcoin mining facility that could potentially be coming to the area. That announcement driving a crowd inside the commission chambers as a rural community united against what they call an unwanted digital neighbor. A proposed 10-acre Bitcoin mining facility planned for an unincorporated area along Union Road. Lindsay Hudson started a petition to show leadership that the community is not welcoming the development. In just a short time, it exploded with more than 1,000 signatures.
Our property right now is very peaceful. We have NASA engineers. We have, people that are in the medical, community. We have lots of people that live out there for a specific reason. We don't live out there because, we want to be close to all the hustle and bustle.
Projects like this generate constant noise and heavy power draws. It's a prospect that has the county's top leader standing firm with residents.
It's not something that you want. I mean, it's like getting a bad neighbor that's going to play his music loud all night, 24/7. You don't want that. And so, I understand their concerns. Like I say, I'm one of them. I live there.
But under Alabama law, the county commission's hands are tied. Because the site sits on unincorporated land, the county lacks the statutory home rule needed to enforce zoning laws and block the project. Despite the legal hurdles, residents left this morning feeling heard. They say they plan to keep digging for facts and press state lawmakers to enact protections before any ground is broken. In Decatur, Logan Alexandra Russell, Fox 54 News.
Chairman Ray Long did note that while residents are pushing back heavily against this data center, many remain resistant to broader permanent countywide zoning laws. Fort Payne leaders are working to create rules before data centers ever come to town. Tonight, residents shared their thoughts as city leaders gathered feedback on regulations that could shape future development. Fox 54's Valentina Chalala spoke with residents to hear what they have to say about the proposals.
There are no confirmed data center projects in Fort Payne right now, but city leaders say this is about getting rules on the books before those plans start knocking on the city's door. If data centers ever do come to Fort Payne, the city says they want to know what kind of impact they could have on things like power, water, wastewater systems, and even traffic before anything moves forward. That's why residents were able to share their suggestions as well.
I'm glad that they're going to make them actually give evidence that they're not going to be harmful to the environment. So hopefully they'll be able to do their studies and not let anybody come in that will actually do a negative to our environment. Nobody wants to hear a constant roar or hum or anything like that, because if people start experiencing that, that's going to cost this area citizens. They're going to start leaving and going other places where they won't have to hear it.
Part of the proposal also focuses on location. The Planning Commission discussed keeping future data centers at least 1,000 feet away from homes and schools, along with landscaped buffers using native vegetation.
We're looking at 1,000 feet from boundary to boundary. And that's not building to building, that is boundary line to boundary line from a residential area. We're just trying to work at the discretion of the City Council and work with the Planning Commission members to come up with an ordinance to control this. We're also looking at an environmental impact study that we can sit down and control and just take that input and meet with the public and meet with the neighbors of that area and try to come up with a plan. Fortunately for us right now, nobody wants to do this in the city of Fort Payne, so we are totally ahead of the game.
They also looked at possible noise limits. Under the proposal, sound levels during the day could reach about 60 decibels, about the same as the hum of a quiet air conditioner, before dropping to 50 decibels overnight. In Fort Payne, I'm Valentina Chalala, Fox 54 News.
City leaders also say they could negotiate future agreements with developers to help pay for things like road and utility improvements, emergency services support, and other community investments. They will officially draft up the rules sometime next month before sending it to City Council for a vote.
Thousands of signatures and growing concerns are putting data center development in Lawrence County under the spotlight. Residents say they want more answers about potential impact before any long-term decisions are made. Those concerns are helping fuel a growing petition calling for an 18-month moratorium on data center approvals. Organizers say the petition has now reached more than 6,500 signatures in less than 2 weeks, with their Facebook group growing to more than 3,000 members. Tiffany Charbonnet, a petition co-organizer, says one of the proposed sites is drawing particular attention because of its location near Shoal Creek.
They're marketing the property to be a hyperscale data center using the water in Shoal Creek for its systems. And that's really concerning, not only to our community, but Florence, Shoal Creek, Wilson Lake. I mean, it's, that's a big deal because Shoal Creek empties into Wilson Lake.
Many say location matters when choosing a data center site, especially in an area where some families still rely on well water.
A lot of people here still use well water. So is that going to leach into the water that they're using, and how is that going to affect them and their animals? We live off the land. We organic garden ourselves too, and so making sure that the water systems and everything stay clear is important to us.
Nicholson says she's also thinking about what the future could look like for the next generation. Her daughter, 15-year-old Ellie Creasy, says many of her classmates had not heard about the projects until she brought it up at school.
I think that the more that we okay them to come in, not knowing that they're dangerous, that the more that they're just going to pop up and the more dangers are going to pop up.
The proposed data center off Flatwoods Road is expected to go before the planning board on July 9th. Residents say they plan to attend the meeting and make their voices heard. In Lawrence County, Tennessee, I'm Valentina Chalala, Fox 54 News.
Last week, we told you about a fight to save geese in the Edgewater community. Those geese will live. It's a different story for the geese in the Heritage Plantation community. Homeowners there right now have lost their fight to save the geese in their neighborhood from extermination. Here's the story. First on Fox 54, a group of Heritage Plantation residents are suing their own HOA after the decision to euthanize a flock of geese. The resident's attorney, Angie Ingram, shared documents with Fox 54 that show a temporary restraining order has been filed in an effort to prevent the neighborhood from euthanizing the geese. Their attorney alleges the HOA mischaracterized the USDA's guidance and recommendations to control the geese population. They also allege the HOA's decision is a violation of the Migratory Bird Treaty Act. We spoke with their attorney, and she says they're concerned the HOA has not done their due diligence.
We had hoped they would back down and do the right thing, but clearly they're just not. They say they've done everything they can, non-lethal methods. I don't believe that. They've tried some of these things and they're still doing some of them, but there's no consistency at all. They are in control because I'm really concerned about the next 48 hours. We don't know if they're going to show up tonight, in the morning, or the next night. I just don't want to see them killed.
The lawsuit also points to inhumane practices and harm to the local wildlife system. A hearing is scheduled for Wednesday afternoon. A judge has dismissed a lawsuit challenging plans to exterminate Canada geese at the Heritage Plantation subdivision, allowing the USDA to move forward with the operation. The court ruled the homeowners who filed the case failed to show they would suffer irreparable harm or meet the legal requirements for an injunction. The HOA says the 500 and growing flock has become a community hazard after years of unsuccessful non-lethal control efforts. Fox 54 spoke with the Heritage Plantation HOA lawyer who says they are happy with the judge's ruling.
That's it. This is the judge's order at the end says that any further relief is denied. This order shall serve as a final order for purposes of appeal. This matter is closed. So this is the end of the case. We're happy with the results, obviously. I mean, the order stands for itself. I couldn't make any comments about the order. The order didn't already say. As far as moving forward, the USDA will continue proceeding according to its own timeline.
The goose removal plan is required to be completed by July 1st under the HOA's contract with the USDA. Following up on a story that we've been covering for a year and a half, one of the suspects in the disappearance of Ronald Dumas Jr. was in court in Huntsville this week. We've got an update on the case, plus reaction from Dumas' family. New details emerged in court today in the disappearance of Huntsville realtor Ronald Dumas Jr. A judge denied bond for Teray McLaurin after investigators testified about text messages, phone data, and what they say was a plan connected to Dumas' alleged kidnapping. Ronald Dumas Jr. was last seen on this surveillance video in December of 2024 at Mid-City Liquor on University Drive. He was reported missing days later. Investigators say their case later shifted from a missing person investigation to an alleged kidnapping. Court records show McLaurin is one of 5 suspects named in the case, with 3 now in custody. Fox 54's Valentina Chalala was in court as investigators revealed new details today.
McLaurin appeared in court today where a judge ordered he be held without bond. Outside the Madison County Courthouse, Dumas' family says they're still seeking answers as Ronald Dumas Jr. remains missing. After more than a year on the run, Teray McLaurin emerged from the courtroom in handcuffs. As investigators laid out new details they say connect him to the case. Huntsville police investigator Robert Brady testified about text messages investigators say were exchanged between McLaurin and another suspect. Those messages allegedly discussed kidnapping, robbery, and, quote, dumping him far away from here, end quote. Investigators also say messages referenced trying to access a $7,000 loan connected to Dumas. Dumas' family embracing one another in grief at the possibility of his death, acknowledged by law enforcement for the first time today.
We've tried to remain so hopeful and prayerful, but to hear things like torture and to hear Teray allegedly make statements about Ronnie's blood, you know, it's just a harsh reality. And it's a hard pill to swallow.
Dumas was last seen being escorted out of Mid-City Liquor by what investigators say was 2 prostitutes, one of whom has since died, and the other, Sabrina Chambers, still missing.
Just tell the truth and tell what you did with Sabrina and tell what you did with this young man. It's not right.
When discussing bond, McLaurin's attorney, Chad Morgan, argued there was no surveillance showing Dumas in distress and said McLaurin may have not known about the warrants against him. Prosecutors pushed back, calling him a flight risk with no ties to Madison County and pointing to what they described as his prior criminal history. The judge ultimately denied bond. In Huntsville, I'm Valentina Chalala, Fox 54 News.
McLaurin has been formally charged with first-degree kidnapping and is scheduled to return to court for a felony examination hearing July 8th. Ronald Dumas Jr. remains missing.
I am the mother of Ronnie's son. Today has been another difficult day in a journey that began on December 15th of 2024 when Ronnie was taken from us. Since that day, our family has been forced to live with uncertainty, fear, heartbreak, and countless unanswered questions. Every day without Ronnie has been painful, not only for me, but especially for his children, who continue to miss their father and wonder when they will have answers. While nothing can erase the pain we have experienced, I stand here today grateful. First and foremost, I want to thank God. Throughout this ordeal, I've prayed continuously for justice, for truth, and for strength. There have been many moments when the weight of this situation have felt overwhelming, but my faith has carried me through. I'm thankful that God continues to answer prayers and guide those working tirelessly on this case. I also want to thank the community. The support we have received from friends, family, neighbors, and even people who have never met us has meant more than words can express. Your prayers, messages, encouragement, and willingness to share this information has helped sustain us during some of the darkest moments of our lives. I would also like to express my sincere gratitude to law enforcement agencies that have worked relentlessly on this investigation. Thank you to the U.S. Marshals, local law enforcement investigators, Troy, the Sports Media, James with Magna Investigative Group. We are especially grateful for the capture of Torre and the other suspects who are currently in custody. Your commitment demonstrates that this case is not only that has not been forgotten, that those responsible will be held accountable. As we move forward, our family still needs the support of this community. We ask for your continued prayers, your continued vigilance, and your continued belief that justice will prevail. We know there is still work to be done, and we remain hopeful that the truth will fully come to light. I also want to remind the public that the reward being offered in connection with Ronnie's case expires today. Any remaining funds will be allocated and divided among Ronnie's children. While no amount of money can replace a father, we hope these funds will help support the children he loves so much. Today is not the end of the journey. We are still seeking answers. We are still seeking justice. And we will continue standing together as a family until we have both. Thank you for your prayers, your support, and continuing to stand with us.
Taking a look around the Tennessee Valley, a new lawsuit over a quarry in the Belmina community, short-term rentals coming to Madison over residents' objections, neighbors in New Markets clean up after not one but two tornadoes, and a historic Rosenwald school could become a National Historical Park. First on Fox 54, before the ink even dried on the settlement and the lawsuit against the Belmina quarry, another suit has been filed. The dispute over the quarry has been going on for years. And just when we all thought it was over, a new chapter has begun. The resolution of the original lawsuit requires the quarry to relocate its rock crusher, use a tire washing station, follow limited hours of operation, and notify residents when they will be blasting on site. But that deal hasn't stopped a new group from taking action. Fox 54's Gabe Glassman has the details on why more than 40 Belmina residents are taking up the fight against this limestone quarry.
A settlement was reached in a case surrounding the rock quarry in the Belmina community, but the fight to end the rock quarry is not over.
It's another nuisance lawsuit to get better living conditions even farther than this.
Fox 54 has reviewed documents from a second lawsuit, marking a new effort to end operations at the quarry operated by Grayson Carter and Son Contracting in Belmina. This case, filed by dozens of residents, alleges loud noise, dust, truck traffic, and more nuisances, similar to the recently settled lawsuit.
This is my home. This has been a lifetime of home. Now my home is going down because of this rock quarry.
Alfonso Williams is one of the residents joining the fight to stop the quarry operations. He says the new location of the rock crusher isn't any better. For him, it's worse.
They moved this rock crusher from the road, moved it back, and now it's due north of my house. I still get noise. From September up until May, when the wind blows from the north, it's blowing dust to my house.
They be bombing and tearing up people's walls and making people sick like me. I have got asthma, bronchitis, and I've been out of the doctor several times.
Sarah Stokes, senior attorney with the Southern Environmental Law Center, isn't representing the residents in this case, but SELC represented the churches in the previous lawsuit.
It really provided an avenue for these 40 individuals now to come and be able to use the evidence that's already been presented to make their case in court.
The residents have demanded a jury trial in this case as the fight to put it into this rock quarry continues. From Belmina, Gabe Glassman, Fox 54 News.
Stoned LLC and Elephants R Us filed official responses this week denying the allegations and asserting the quarry operates, quote, at a lawful and safe distance from all surrounding properties, end quote. City of Madison meeting tonight on short-term rental regulations that could impact the future of neighborhoods citywide. The vote zoning ordinances allowing short-term rentals within city limits, but some residents say they aren't happy with the proposed change. Fox 54's Gabe Glassman is live from Madison City Hall. Gabe, the Madison City Council just voted on the regulations.
Yes, Kenesha, the vote just finalized minutes ago, and short-term rentals have been approved in Madison. There were two votes, one for regulations, one for the ordinance, and both have been passed by the Madison City Council. Now, it was a very eventful city council meeting, dozens of residents packing in, and many of them taking a stand. Some of them agreeing that short-term rentals belong in Madison. Others, they have other opinions on it.
There's a place for short-term rentals. They're not in a single-family residential neighborhood. It's just not set up for that way. We're concerned about the safety of our kids and grandkids, concerned about the values of our properties.
When we decided on our new home, we knew we didn't want to live in an HOA neighborhood. I never thought that in deciding to live in a non-HOA neighborhood that we would have to consider being surrounded by investment properties.
What we did over the past 2 weeks is we set out to create a petition to get additional data points for all of you. So that petition, as of about 10 minutes ago, is about 648 people here. 77% were actually from Madison zip code. As a new father, I worry about my son and what his future means. I think of his safety as he grows up and as he starts to play in our neighborhood, ride his bike. He just took his first steps a couple weeks ago. I think of the friends that he might never make because of the families that will never live in these homes.
I think it also does give people an opportunity to experience the neighborhoods in here in Madison that we brag about. If they stay in a hotel, they don't get that. And so by being there in that short-term rental, to get to meet some of these great neighbors, like the great people that have spoken here tonight, might help them realize this is exactly where I want to move my family.
I think they have got some more work to do on the council, and you know, there's an awful lot of growth, a lot of investment coming into this community, and hotels, apartments, you know, like that would be better suited for a short-term rental.
Now, according to city documents obtained by Fox 54, there's only going to be up to 190 permits allowed in the city of Madison for these short-term rentals. Live from Madison City Hall, Gabe Glassman, Fox 54 News.
A story we will certainly continue to follow. Thank you, Gabe. Residents in Newmarket are making a recovery after an EF1 tornado swept through the area just yesterday. Several of those residents telling Fox 54 they're just glad to be here today. Well, here's the path the storm took, shown in green, as it cut through farms, backyards, and some buildings before stopping over the top of Backbone Mountain. Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo shows us how nearby residents are picking up the pieces.
We looked out and you could see all the trees were whipping in a circular motion. So we started to the interior of our house to get in a small room.
Residents just east of Newmarket say they saw the storm firsthand as it came right toward them.
I started seeing like the rain started like spinning. We didn't know if it was a tornado or not. We just thought it was a strong storm.
I looked out the back door and I seen my dog house about 40 foot up in the air going out towards the cornfield, and then I looked and a tree, it jerked, it's about 150 feet from the house, it jerked it up out of the ground and then it just exploded like dynamite. It just blew it all to pieces.
And after coming out from their shelter, the damage was already apparent.
From utility work to the next day cleanup, Newmarket residents say they've spent all day recovering from the damage the tornado left in its path.
In fact, McGee says the storm missed his house by just feet. His next-door neighbor, on the other hand, saw up to 50 trees fall on his property, the wind and shrapnel damaging his home, his barn, and the chicken coop. Just around the corner, up to a dozen utility workers repaired power lines and cleared the street for traffic. But despite the damage, McGee and his neighbors say it was heeding the warnings and a little bit of blessing that saved lives this time around.
I really do think we were really blessed because of if it went over here, it would be completely damaged. My home would be completely damaged. We didn't have no home, so I'm really blessed for that.
When you hear the warning go off, you better take cover. Yeah, because it could have been a lot of people killed up in here.
In Newmarket, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
And thankfully, we've learned everyone is okay. It's still not clear how long it could take before the last residents get their power back, with estimates ranging from hours to even days. A local piece of Southern history could soon become part of the national park system, offering a glimpse into a system that educated hundreds of thousands of Black students during the Jim Crow era. Lawmakers are championing House Bill 8887 to proactively protect surviving structures, which could protect historic sites, including what's left of the St. John Elementary School in Morgan County. Fox 54's Logan Alexander Russell shows us how local alumni are fighting to preserve what's left.
It stood for nearly a century in Somerville, but in February, a fire erased almost all of the physical history that was left of St. John Elementary. St. John was part of the historic Rosenwald Schools project, a partnership that built nearly 5,000 schools across the South to advance Black education. Today, only a fraction still survive, often run by volunteers, which is why a new mediated push in Washington is aiming to protect what's left. H.R. 8887 would establish the Julius Rosenwald National Historical Park, designating 3 surviving schools to anchor a multi-state network.
The fact that Representative Claiborne actually, released everything and introduced that bill was liberating to me because I had been fighting for so long for the Rosenwald project.
Before the 1954 Brown versus Board decision integrated schools, these buildings were beacons of hope. For alumni, protecting this legacy represents an enduring struggle that cannot be forgotten.
Being from historical school, knowing in the beginning how hard it was for us to even learn the simple things, how we started learning the simple things. And one teacher teaching 6 grades at one time was able to implement that into each child.
While surviving sites look to the National Park Service for future maintenance, the Morgan County community is starting from scratch, recreating the history lost to the flames. One fighting to rebuild from the ashes, the other on the verge of becoming a recognized national treasure. In Somerville, Logan Alexander Russell, Fox 54 News.
H.R. 8887 has been introduced and referred to the House Committee on Natural Resources as it awaits a hearing. If passed, the network would be the first comprehensive map of surviving Rosenwald sites across the country. July 4th is coming up, and before you celebrate, we've got some things you should know to keep the holidays safe and happy. Plus a look at what the U.S. Space and Rocket Center has planned for America 250. festivities on the 4th. You can't forget about fireworks, but you can't forget about safety when you're dealing with them either. It's why Huntsville Hospital trauma experts warn you to be extremely careful this time of year. They say we always see an uptick in firework-related injuries. In fact, up to 75% of firework injuries occur during the month surrounding the 4th. Kevin Pascal describes what you can do to protect yourself and your family.
While they're pretty and while they're fun, they are explosives. They can be very dangerous. So it's important for people to think about safety precautions when they're doing their own shows at home or in their neighborhood. You want to wear long sleeves. You want to wear maybe blue jeans. You want to protect open skin from sparks and fire that could potentially burn you. You want to think about eye safety. Something that covers your eyes so that shrapnel or sparks don't fly into your eyes.
Yeah, Pascal also says to keep water on standby, a fire extinguisher handy, and your watch party far away from the launch site. The 4th of July, Independence Day, is almost here, and that might mean travel for you and your family. TSA is urging you to be prepared when you get to the airport so you're not the one holding up the line. They're expecting almost 19 million passengers next week, with nearly 3 million people on the busiest day, July 2nd. TSA spokesperson Gervais Jobert tells FOX54 the biggest tips for getting through the checkpoint quickly.
Pack smart, arrive early, and make sure you have a valid form of ID. Make sure you don't travel with any knives or any large liquid gels or aerosols. If you can spray it, spill it, spread it, pump it, or pour it, it's considered a liquid, and it needs to be 3.4 ounces or less if you're going to put it in your carry-on bag. We also say arrive early. You always want to be at the airport, walking through the doors 2 hours ahead of your scheduled flight. TSA is now enforcing real ID or acceptable forms of ID, so you want to make sure you have that when you get to the airport.
Tips. Jobert also says if you don't have a real ID or want to find the list of prohibited items, learn more at tsa.gov. The 4th of July is a little more than a week away, and as the nation celebrates its 250th birthday, the U.S. Space and Rocket Center is preparing to join in on the festivities. New films focused on the Apollo program and the space shuttle from the Smithsonian's America in Color series are now playing at the Davidson Center. Space and Rocket Center management says when it comes to the exhibits housed at the museum, the staff were tasked with doing something special for America 250.
Our archives team is working on a really fun trail. We kind of tasked them and said, you know, go out there and find us a list of things that really point to and celebrate American achievement. And so they're working on some really fun displays. We're going to have them marked throughout. We're going to start this scavenger hunt, so to speak.
The archive trail is set to open at the Rocket Center July 1st and is included in the price of admission. Space and Rocket Center leaders say the America 250 celebration is a chance to showcase the spirit of innovation and exploration that defines our nation.
There's few places that I can think of that really celebrate the spirit of America better than here at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. This really is a hub for the great achievements, the innovative spirit of Americans. The spirit of pioneering, of traveling, of exploring is something that's innate in the American culture. And I think that's something that we celebrate certainly here every day, but especially this year as America turns 250 years old.
Check out the full list of America 250 events happening at the Space and Rocket Center on FOX54.com. And let's wrap up with a look at a local restaurant that's serving up food and fun as part of Huntsville's Black Restaurant Week. We went to Superhero Chefs, where the owners are superpowering the community.
It's Black Restaurant Week, a time to celebrate and support the diverse culinary talent driving our local food scene. For one North Alabama spot, serving up stunning brunch dishes is only half the mission. FOX54's Logan Alexandra Russell shows us how Superhero Chefs is using comfort food to make a powerful impact in the community.
It's bold, it's creative, and it's packed with flavor. From soul food egg rolls to decadent red waffle sandwiches, the menu at Superhero Chefs in Huntsville is designed to pack a punch.
Let's see, catfish and grits. It's a smoked Gouda grit, fried catfish topped with the champagne cream sauce. Our juggernaut sandwich, which is a waffle sandwich, a red waffle sandwich that has fried chicken, a fried egg, pepper jack cheese, candied bacon on it.
Head chef and co-owner Marvin Foster stepped in to run the kitchen in 2021. Despite launching in the middle of a pandemic, the brunch spot has become a local favorite.
I bring family, friends here every time they come and visit. I bring them here so they can enjoy it because I like coming and enjoying it. The food have always been amazing every time I've come. The experience have always been great every time I've come, and I love the mimosas.
But Foster says the real superpower of this restaurant isn't just the food it serves across the counter. It's the work they do outside of it.
It means everything. We are able to reach out and do things in the community, such as support local youth sports, education. We do a lot of collaborations with Calhoun Community College, Drake, A&M, Feed the Homeless. So it means everything.
From providing breakfast platters to the homeless to mentoring local youth, Foster credits a go-getter staff for keeping the community rooted in everything they do. And he thanks the community for their overwhelming amount of support. In Huntsville, Logan Alexandra Russell, Fox 54 News.
Now, if your mouth is watering, Superhero Chefs is open Tuesday through Sunday for your brunch fix.
Thank you for watching Fox 54's Week in Review. Count on Fox 54 Plus to bring you more great programming with in-depth local specials, locked on sports, true crime, cooking shows, wellness experts, and continuing weather coverage. For everyone at Fox 54 News, I'm Kenesha Dees. Have a great weekend.